Hey, Josh Koningsberg here with Law Firm Marketing Pros. Today I'm here with a fantastic, wonderful client of ours, Riah Greathouse from Atlanta Trial Law. Riah, could you please take a quick moment, introduce yourself and your firm to our audience?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm Riah Greathouse of Greathouse Trial Law. Actually, our website is ATL Trial Law, which shows how much work y'all have done on the website and everything that you think that's the firm name. So that's good. That's a good thing.
Right.
But I am a PI, personal injury attorney, wrongful death attorney in the Atlanta area. The recipient that we were the number one slot on the LawFirm500 in 2020, fastest growing small law firm in the nation, something I'm incredibly proud of. And we've continued to grow. So here we are, still going strong. 6 years total with the firm, been practicing for 12 years.
Great. Awesome. And again, congratulations once again on finishing number one on the Law Firm 500. So let me ask you, do you recall how long you've been with Law Firm Marketing Pros?
Been with you guys for going on 2 years, about 20 months, I think, as of today, but close to 2 years.
And that's great, and we really appreciate you continue your continued trust with us and the work we're doing for you. Do you recall how you found out about us and how we got involved together?
I remember, so I was in a group, a lawyers group, how to manage a small law firm, and at the time, we're all members of the group looking to maximize, how can we grow, the business side of the law. And one thing that every lawyer wants more of is more clients. And if they say they don't, they're lying, obviously. In trying to find a vendor, someone who can help you to get more clients, obviously legally and ethically, it's a huge challenge, especially in this day and age where everybody thinks they can market something one way or another. We've got the Instagram superstars and social media and everyone else that claims that they're an expert. You don't know who to trust because a Google search can just yield anybody. It doesn't necessarily mean they're good. But to answer your question, in our group, we really started asking each other, who have you worked with who's got some success? And I remember, I narrowed it down to two companies, Law Firm Marketing and then another company. And just throughout the interview process, which I think was kind of tedious. You remember, I asked you a lot of questions, a lot of drill down stuff. And, I said, all right, let's give it a try. And obviously I'm happy because we're here 2 years later.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you were very, did a lot of due diligence and some deep questions. It was great. Yeah. So what was going on in your business at the time, if you can think back to, 20, 22 months ago? What problems were you experiencing? Because as I recall, you were working with someone else, I think locally.
Yeah. So one of the things that we had was, when we went and looked at, how are we getting our cases? Where are leads coming from? The majority is referrals. And that's fine. Referrals are the cheapest acquisition cost, but referrals are not, you can't count on, they're not reliable.
It's inconsistent.
You're at their mercy, right?
Right.
So one of the things that we knew is that if we want to continue the type of growth that we wanted, we needed to find other ways to market ourselves. So in doing our research, of course, a lot of personal injury attorneys, first thing they want to do is jump on TV or billboard or radio. In working with our coaches and our consultants, we said, look, there's a huge opportunity in your website, in SEO and putting out content that will lead people organically to your website. And then on top of that, to kind of mix, have a diverse portfolio in marketing, so to speak, there's PPC, there are other avenues on the internet that we're not taking advantage of. So that's what I wanted. I wanted someone who would take advantage, who would almost be a comprehensive kind of guide to come up with the marketing strategy, first of all, and then to be able to execute it. And that's what I didn't have previously. It was more so me kind of saying, well, let's try this, or let's try this, let's try that, where I didn't have the overall strategy. And, the people I used before, they weren't experts in pay-per-click or other Google marketing. It was more so of, hey, we're going to give out some content every month in a newsletter, and hopefully that's going to drive people to your website.
Right. Yeah. So that's pretty typical of what I see when I first meet a client, and we discuss where they're at and what's going on and what they're looking for. And basically, what you just described was the implementation of the law firm client generation system.
Yep.
So without getting into real specific numbers, if you get like, what kind of leads per month were you getting at the time? Number of leads, number of cases, approximate revenue, if you don't mind sharing that.
I mean,
I know it's going back a while.
We were, I mean, it's hard because you know, when you never want to look back, you always want to look forward. It's like, I don't even want to get in that mindset of where I was. I'd say that I was probably, you know, doing maybe 100 grand in revenue a month, maybe a little more, give or take. And since then, you know, we've tripled, you know, quadrupled that number.
Wow.
You know, and as far as leads, you know, I'd say consistently between, you know, maybe 50 at most, 20, somewhere between 20 and 50. And since then we've doubled that. So
awesome.
You know, huge difference since we started with you guys.
Great. So, well, thank you. That's fantastic to hear. What did our team, can you think of specific, what did we put in place that made a difference? You know, that really kicked in? As I recall, it was about month 7 or 8 when things really started to kick into gear.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is strategy. I mean, that's what I'd said before. I didn't have any type of strategy. You know, I think that so many marketers just kind of waste a lot of money because it's like throwing something against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, right.
So that's the number one thing that was the most important, that we sit down with a strategy that we both can get behind and agree. And that way can say, all right, this is the amount of money that I know I'm going to spend, that I've, you know, earmarked for that campaign. And then, all right, let me sit back and see what's happening. But the important thing that I really admire with you guys that I didn't have in the past is that I hear from you guys so frequently. I mean, we talk a few times a month to tweak, to monitor, to, you know, it's a fluid situation. It's like, you know, football. I know you and I are both sports guys. It's like you got to be able to call an audible at the line if you see that something's, you know, either something's working or something's not working.
Right.
And in the past, you know, I remember going months without talking to my strategist, you know, or not strategist, my prior company, where, you know, they were shocked. They had no idea how many leads I had coming in or what worked or what didn't work.
Yeah. So it's the constant communication and the ability to, as you call, audible or pivot and make adjustments to make it better and refine as we go.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So the result of the efforts, let's say 24, now we're at like month, I think we're coming up, we're a month 20 now. And as I look at it as like a ski slope with some moguls, and it's kind of going up and up and up. Yeah. So what you said earlier was that you were at about 100K a month, and now it's 4X in 20 months. Yeah. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. And congratulations, by the way. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So again, why did you choose us over anything else you could have done? And there's 4 options, right? So you could have stayed with the people you were with. You could have chose somebody else. You could have chose to do nothing at all, right? And then you chose us. So when it came down to the final decision, what kind of put you over the fence?
Well, I can tell you that you know, 2 of those options weren't viable because I wasn't going to, you know, continue to do the same thing I've been doing. And then, you know, not doing anything wasn't an option either. So, you know, I'd say it came down to you guys, just a personality fit. You know, I think you and I clicked. We're both straight shooters. Yeah. As I always tell my clients, you know, you hire me to tell you the truth and advise you the best way, not necessarily what you want to hear.
That's right.
And same thing with you guys. You know, I want you guys to be honest and say, look, if you're looking for us to all of a sudden wave a wand and all of a sudden you're going to get 10X in 3 months, it's not going to happen. And I think that so often, you know, business owners and particularly lawyers, I think, are so desperate for success. It's like you almost want to be sold a dream. You want to hear what sounds good. And you say, all right, cool, sell me on it. I mean, we all know, I'm sure you guys in your junk mail probably get those emails where it says, can you handle 3 or 4 or 3 to 5 more cases a month? I mean, they're obviously working on somebody, right? Because they wouldn't be doing it. So I think when it came down to me making the choice, I remember a conversation that sticks out with you and I, where we were talking about a contract and everything. And I said, look, if you're willing to put it on the line and say, screw the contract, then that's good enough for me. You weren't trying to lock me in. You weren't trying to oversell me. You know, you laid out the plan, and then there was a no pressure, you know, situation after. You didn't press me, you didn't hound me, you didn't try to sell me and upsell me and sell more. So that speaks volumes. That's what I like. And that's, we've had a great relationship since.
Great. Great. Thanks. You know, I like to say it becomes down honesty and integrity equal trust. And that's the bottom line on every relationship, right? So
Absolutely.
your clients need to trust you, right? You trust us. I trust our vendors, and so on and so forth. So
yeah. And it's a lot easier to have trust when you do what you say you're going to do. And you guys have done it. Here we are almost 2 years later. You said you'll do X and you've done X. So, I mean,
great.
you know, everybody's happy when the phone's ringing.
That's right. That's right. So, so what I love what you're saying, by the way. Obviously, as a business owner, it's great to hear. So was there one thing that really surprised you or made you the happiest about our services? Like you were like, wow. But, you know, and you said communication, which obviously is critical in every relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to results. You know, I don't care that the phone's ringing if they're ringing and asking me for tax advice or bankruptcy or family law. You know, it's relevant results. It's, you know, it's qualified leads that are going to make me money. That's what I want, and I've made money.
Great.
Point blank. As long as I'm making money, I'm happy.
You know, that's what comes down to the bottom line, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, how has working with us changed your practice over the last 20 months?
Well, I mean, it's changed it, as I've stated before. You know, as the owner and CEO, you know, I take myself out of the lawyer role and I put it into the manager, the owner, you know, the brains behind the operation. So anytime I can remove a stressor or a responsibility off my plate, then that's a huge win. As I said before, we had no marketing strategy. You know, we were all over the place, and that doesn't mean that I just, you know, hands off the wheel, you guys take it. Of course, it's a dual effort, but it's nice to have that person. I mean, as I say to my clients, you know, you're hiring me because you're hiring an expert. I am not a marketer. I did not major in marketing or business in college, and there, you know, or computer science, IT, whatever it is background that you guys do to make it work. That's not my area. So I want to hire an expert, and I want to not just hire any expert, but someone that I can say, all right, this is one of the best in the industry. And that's what I so far feel that I've done.
Great. You're in my mind spot on. By the way, about 80% of the attorneys I talk to who are looking for some help in marketing say exactly what you've done. They want to get hands off, run the business operation, not necessarily even practice so much law, but run the business and trust their marketing to someone. So it's spot on. I'm glad it's really worked. So what about your personal life? How is the 4X in revenue? Because that's significant for anybody. I don't care how much money you make in life. How has it changed your personal life? So
I'll say this. So we because we are in such a growth mindset, my answer is probably not going to be that what you would expect it to be. Most people would answer that and say, oh, my life is turned into easy street. I'm on vacation, you know, 20 days out of the month. I want to create something that is bigger than I could have imagined. So with that, it takes revenue and resources to pump back in the machine, not just for marketing, but for staff. Adequate staff. I want to get the best staff. I want to train them, you know, with the best resources. So I now have the capital to reinvest in my business. So I know that personally, I'm going to reap the benefits, you know, tenfold in the future. So are we there yet? Of course, I have, you know, a few good things here and there, but it's more so stacking and investing for the future and having the resources to be able to put that, you know, back into the firm is what I've been able to do. That's great stuff. So really a fulfillment of your dreams is really what it comes down to. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Great. Okay. So if you were to recommend our services to a colleague, what would you say? I would say if you are a personal injury attorney in the state of Georgia, don't, because I'm going to have I have the block on you. I don't want anybody taking my spot, because that's how happy I am. But any other practice area, I think that, the results speak for themselves. I'm sitting here talking to you, and I think it's like dating. My longest relationship prior, lasted barely over a year. I'm 2 years in, and God willing, 2 more years and 20 more years,
Yeah, right.
continue to do this. So I'm happy. That's all I can say. I'm happy. The results speak for themselves.
All right. And so that's great. Thanks. So last question would be, what would you say to a law firm, an attorney, or partners in a law firm who are on the fence and trying to make a decision?
I'd say just like, when talking to a client, it's about who fits, who aligns with your mission and your values and your vision. And, and I don't know if you feel the same, but I mean, it's like our meetings aren't meetings. It's like we're old friends who have known each other for years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we're on the same page. We know what we're trying to accomplish. We know what we're trying to do, and we're just talking about how to get there. I think that's the biggest thing, is being on the same page. And I think that so far we've been able to do that. I know that other companies, whether they've got their own internal strife or whatever they've got going on with turnover or people being on their own agenda, I haven't felt this type of support, with any other vendor that I've had.
That's great. Thanks so much. So again, Riah Greathouse Trial Law in Atlanta. ATL Trial Law, right? That's because I'm so in the web, right? I'm so into the digital space. So again, thanks so much for your time. I really can't tell you how much I've enjoyed your journey so far, and look forward to our journey together moving forward for your continued success. And again, this is Josh Konigsberg, Law Firm Marketing Pros, signing off for today. Bye for now.